What's going on, fight fans? So we have developing news. It appears that the fight with Tank Davis is not the next fight for Shakur Stevenson. It is looking like, as reported by Boxing Scene, who actually has a mega reliable source, which is management team, that this absolutely trumps the IFL TV, who provided no source whatsoever, just said that it was people from the inside. Now, this is disappointing because I wanted Shakur versus Tank. This is Shakur's second best option, obviously, other than Lomachenko. Lomachenko is probably his real second best option, but Lomachenko is probably not going to fight neither Shakur nor Tank at this moment. But if this is the case, right, hopefully, I mean, this is not guaranteed that William Zepeda is his next fight, but this is looking like the correct people, the correct party are saying that this is what they're doing. And if this is true, then IFL TV will no longer be a credible source moving forward for this channel, because although they are insiders, although they have a massive following and reporters that are on the field, you would think that they would do their due diligence to actually confirm any, like, a big piece of information like this, putting it out there for people to reply to, comment to, engage with. I personally believe that if this is the case, that they should definitely put out some sort of an apology with that IFL reporting and say, hey, look, this, we apologize, mistakes were made or whatever, because moving forward, unfortunately, and not to be disrespectful to that company or whoever, that entire team, but I won't be using it, and if I ever see it, it won't elicit any excitement from me, no matter what they talk about moving forward, if they're breaking any kind of fight. So that's sad. That's a sad thing. And it's upsetting, but whatever, we have to move on, right? So he's not fighting Loma, he's not fighting Tank. It appears that Shakur Stevenson's team grew tired of waiting for an offer from Gervonta Tank Davis. So Coach Calvin Ford said that they were going to send an offer to Gervonta Tank for Tank Davis to fight Shakur. An offer was going to be sent to Shakur, but it was a take it or leave it. But at the same time, Calvin Ford is kind of double speaking, right? He's saying, yeah, we're going to send him an offer, but yeah, I don't really like that fight. Yeah, I don't really want him to fight him. Like, he's not going to sit there, whatever. And I prefer for, maybe you seeing how Floyd and Mosley did. They didn't do that much. So he was on his, we're going to send the offer, but I don't really want to fight him next. I don't think that's a good fight for Tank next. I think maybe down the line in the future is a possibility. So basically, he was double speaking, right? And his double speaking has come to fruition, and it appears that, according to the team of Gervonta Tank Davis, and this is actually confirmed by both, it's being confirmed by both. Let me see if I can pull it up here, by both managers, right? So Stevenson's co-manager, Josh Dubin, told Boxing Scene that after Stevenson's other co-manager, which is James Prince, was asked by a premier boxing champion official if Stevenson was interested in fighting Davis and was told yes, a promised return phone call to negotiate never happened. Dubin says they are now 1 week past the promised date of contact. So they were supposed to be contacted last week. Nothing happened. They stayed quiet. They didn't move on to a Zepeda. They're supposed to be contacted this week. Nothing happened, or last week, and now it's this week. So 2 weeks have basically passed, right? And nothing has happened. Is Shakur just going to sit around and wait while William Zepeda ends up getting another fight, and Lomachenko don't want to fight nobody, and then next thing you know, Tank just fights the winner of Rayo versus Isaac Cruz? Then all of a sudden, Shakur looking around, he don't got a dance partner. So I think Shakur Stevenson has decided to move on to a verbal agreement, which is pretty good because it still leaves the door open to a Tank Davis fight. If Tank Davis was to come in and say, hey, I know you verbally agreed, but like, here's a contract, let's go ahead and make the fight. So it's not necessarily that he has completely moved on to William Zepeda. It just shows that both Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda have verbally agreed to a fight. And of course, they got to put stuff on paper. They got to see everything. They got to get all the stipulations correct and then sign on the dotted line. But if they don't sign on that dotted line, it is still possible that there is a door open for Tank Davis to come in. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the winner of Rayo versus Isaac Cruz will be the person that gets that nod from Tank Davis so that they could put a fight together. If Tank Davis does that, in my opinion, I mean, we've already saw the Isaac Cruz fight. Do we want to see it again? I mean, just because he didn't get the knockout, it's like that's the thing that they're using as like the, you know, like the reasoning for it. But I don't think it's powerful enough reasoning for us to see that fight again. I would much rather see Shakur versus Tank. I don't mind for Shakur a Zepeda fight. That makes sense. But I would much rather see Shakur fight Tank. But if Tank wants somebody else, there's probably no one else for Shakur Stevenson to choose. So unfortunately, we have to hear both sides. We don't know for sure if this is exactly what happened, but we definitely have to hear both sides. I do not want Shakur Stevenson to sign with DAZN. I prefer he signs with PBC because I just want that fight to happen. Unless he signs a one-fight deal with DAZN or something like that, or maybe a two-fight deal, maybe, but not even the two-fight deal because I want his second fight to be with Tank after this fight. So it is a little bit painful, to be quite honest. However, I mean, if he had to pick somebody and it wasn't going to be Loma and it wasn't going to be Tank, William Zepeda is probably the best. And William Zepeda is a non-stop punching machine. He is a non-stop punching machine. So if we get a non-stop punching machine versus a technical master in Shakur Stevenson, what's going to be the outcome of that fight? That's interesting. That's interesting. Is it more interesting than Shakur Stevenson fighting Tank? Heck no. Heck no, it's not more interesting. I would much rather see Tank versus Shakur Stevenson, but it is what it is. We can't control this stuff, and IFL TV, shame on you for putting that out there, letting us believe that that was a possibility. Anyways, there you have it, guys. We're going to go ahead and end the video here. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this is a good second option for Shakur? Do you think the door is still open for Tank Davis to walk right into it, right? Maybe Tank Davis is just waiting to see what happens with Isaac Cruz and Rayo. If Isaac Cruz has a super exciting night, maybe they do it over. If there's kind of a lackluster night for both, maybe they don't do it. If Rayo comes out of nowhere and wins, maybe he fights Rayo, even though Rayo already lost to Edwin De Los Santos, who Shakur Stevenson, although probably one of the most boring fights out there, even I would admit that fight was super like lackluster, even for skills. It wasn't so much skills. It was a lot of nothing happening in that fight. Shakur still won that fight, right? So it's kind of, yeah, it's a triangle theory, but still, I would much rather Tank and Shakur fight. So if you haven't noticed, that's what I prefer. But again, for Shakur, I think William Zepeda is the best second option without a Lomachenko option being available. All right, until the next one, guys. Again, let me know what you guys think about this whole thing down in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.